Hello dear children, in this video we are going to start our 6th lesson, The Eyes Are Not Here, written by Ruskin Bond. One of the most beautiful and a bit of funny story it is. In the story we see a blind man who is traveling to Dehradun, and on the way by train, on the way he meets a girl, and maximum he tries to pretend that he is not blind, but at last so even he is blind, he is trying to get her look, and he is trying to compliment her, and in a sense we can say he is trying to flirt with her, but at last he realizes that she also was blind. So this is the basic theme of the story. So before we begin the story, let's see about the author. Ruskin Bond, one of the finest storytellers in English in India. He is born in India, was born in Kasauli in 1934. He has written number of short stories and novels basically for children, and in 1999 he was awarded Padma Shri for the contribution to the children's literature. Ruskin Bond's most of the stories are based on Missouri, at the foothills of Himalayas where he lives. So he lived there. So his story is also based on those places or situations. So now let us start the chapter. I had the compartment to myself up to Rohana, and then a girl got in. The couple who saw her off were probably her parents. They seemed very anxious about her comfort, and the woman gave the girl detailed instructions as to where to keep her things, where not to lean out of the window, and how to avoid speaking to strangers. They said their goodbyes. The train pulled out of the station. So here this story or this chapter is a first person narrative, which means the person who is like participating in the situation, he only telling the story. So we can call it as a first person narrative. The style is like that. So here narrator says that this story is starting in a railway station. So there he was traveling to Rohana. He is traveling from somewhere. So up to Rohana, he was alone in the compartment. When the train reached Rohana, he got a companion, one girl. She was about to come to the compartment. So he can listen. Someone was talking, like also he says it might be her parents. They seemed very anxious, so they are giving lot of instructions to her. You should do like that. Even you should not lean out of the window. How to avoid speaking to strangers. What are the do's and don't do's in a compartment while she was traveling alone. So after all these instructions, they told their goodbyes. So within that time, train started to move. Now let us see what is the funny incidents, what is going to happen between them. As I was totally blind at the time, my eyes sensitive only to light and darkness, I was unable to tell what the girl looked like. But I knew she wore slippers from the way they slapped against her heels. It would take me some time to discover something about her looks, and perhaps I never would. But I liked the sound of her voice and even the sound of her slippers. So within that time our narrator he was blind. Only he can sense the light and darkness. Without that nothing he could see. So that's why he was not able to see how the girl looked like. But he says that just he found that she wore a slippers while she was walking from the station to the compartment. He listened to the sounds of her footsteps. So he found that she wore slippers. The heels sound he could listen, and her sound also was very nice. He says that I liked the sound of her voice. Her voice was very nice to listen, and the slippers sound also. So he only could find out the voices only. So while listening these two voices, he said that I liked that girl's voice, sound of her voice, as well as the sound of her slippers. Are you going all the way to Dehra? I asked. So when the girl came in and sat, he asked to the girl, "Are you going to Dehradun?" I must have been sitting in a dark corner because my voice startled her. She gave me a little exclamation and said, "I didn't know anyone else was here." So, as I already told you, at the end of the story only, the narrator got to know about the girl. Because she also was blind, but our narrator, he did not know that. Because why we know that? Because he is also blind, so he cannot find out. So when he asked her, "Are you going to Dehradun?" she just his voice. So he himself is saying that, "I think I must have been sitting in the dark corner. Maybe she did not see me." So my voice just surprised her. Startled means surprised. My voice surprised her. So with an exclamation, she said, "I did not know anyone else was here. I didn't know someone is here." Well, it often happens that people with good eyesight fail to see what is right in front of them. They have too much to take in, I suppose. Whereas people who cannot see or see very little have to take in only the essentials, whatever registers most tellingly on the remaining senses. So he himself, by himself, he is saying that, well, there is no problem. She didn't see me. There is nothing to be surprised in that, because even people with good eyesight, they also are failing to see what is right in front of them. Then whatever, they have much things to see in that. Correctly, they are not able to find out what is in front of them. Then what about the people who has less eyesight? Now comparing them, the people who has less eyesight is good, because they only will see what is necessary for them. So I didn't see you either, I said, but I heard you coming. So writer also said, "Oh, no, like he wants to be like, he is acting like, no, I am not at all like waiting for you, or I am not concentrating on you only, just I listened to your voice. I didn't see you, but I listened to your voice. So I got to know that someone came here. I wondered if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind, I thought. Provided I keep to my seat, it shouldn't be too difficult. I was not like thinking about you, or I was not waiting for you and all, or I was not at all looking at you. Just I listened to your voice, that's why I asked you. I go to one seat, it's comfortable for me to sit here. I don't want to bother about everyone." So he himself saying that, I wanted to pretend like I was not blind. I want to act in front of her. I was not blind. So he himself is saying that. The girl said, "I am getting down at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there." So here the first question was asked already. The narrator asked to that girl, "Where are you going? Are you going to Dehradun or not?" The girl told her, "I am getting down at Saharanpur. No, I am not going to Dehradun. I will get off at Saharanpur. My auntie is waiting there. She will be meeting me there." "Then I had better not to be too familiar," I said. "Ants are usually formidable creatures." "Oh, your aunt is coming. Then I should be keep away from. I should be little away from, because aunties are always very powerful. Formidable means powerful creatures. No, maybe your aunt won't like when she sees I am talking to you. Maybe when your aunt is seeing that, maybe she won't like. So better to keep some distance from you." "Where are you going?" she asked. "To Dera and then to Missouri." So the girl asked to the narrator, "Where are you going?" The narrator, where he was going. He told that he was going to Missouri. "Oh, how lucky you are. I wish I were going to Missouri. I love the hills, especially in October." "You're so lucky. I also wanted to go. I wish to go to Missouri and all, but no chance to go. Mainly I love to go to that place in October. In October, the hills are very beautiful." So here he got some points to talk about the place to her, because basically this man, our narrator, is by birth was not blind. Just like recently he became blind, or he lost his eyesight recently. So already before, while his eyesight was good, he already visited the places, Missouri, Dehradun and all. So he is calling out his memory, and he is trying to tell what are the things were there. "Yes, this is the best time," I said, calling on my memories. "The hills are covered with wild dahlias, the sun is delicious, and at night you can sit in front of a long fire and listen to some music. Many of the tourists have gone and the roads are quiet and almost deserted. Yes, October is the best time. So he told her, the October is the right time, as he said, October is the right time. That time this hill completely will be covered with wild dahlias, sun will be delicious to see. And night, of course, we can sit in front of the log fire and we can listen some cute music there. Many of the tourists are visiting these places at that time. Now the roads will be like empty only. October is the best time to visit Missouri. She was silent, and I wondered if my words had touched her, or whether she thought me a romantic fool. Then I made a mistake. What's it like? I asked. She seemed to find nothing strange in the question. Had she noticed already that I could not see? But her next question removed my doubts. Why don't you look out of the window? She asked. So after he saying this also, the girl was very silent. So like he got some doubt. Maybe my question was not good. Maybe she thought I'm a romantic fool. I shouldn't ask that. Like that he was thinking. Then to get her attention, he asked her, what's it like? Even that time also, she had no answers. But even while he was talking, she seemed to find nothing strange in the question. Just she asked him, why don't you look out of the window? So he is thinking like maybe she already found that I am blind. I couldn't see. But while he was thinking this, suddenly she asked a question. That question cleared all his doubts. She asked, why don't you look out of the window? Why are you simply sitting here and talking to me? You can look out of the window, no? It will be beautiful to see out of the window. I moved easily along the berth and felt for the window ledge. The window was open and I faced it, making a pretense of studying the landscape. I heard the panting of the engine, the rumble of the wheels, and in my mind's eye, I could see the telegraph post flashing by. So while she asked, already he is pretending that he is not blind. So when she asked him, why don't you look out of the window, just he moved near to the window and looking out of the window, like everything he can see like that. Only he can listen the sounds, panting of the engine, rumble of the wheels. Only he can listen the sound. But he is trying to make a picture in his imagination, in his mind. Have you noticed, I ventured, that the trees seem to be moving while we seem to be standing still? So again he is trying to talk to her. He is saying that, you know that, see outside, trees are moving, like we are sitting still here, the trees are moving. It seems to be like that, right? That always happens, she said. Do you see any animals? Hardly any animals left in the forest near Dara. No, that is every time like that only. When we are traveling in train, we feel like we are sitting here only, but the trees are moving. We always feel the same only. No, every time it is happening. Did you see any animals outside? Maybe there now presently there were no animals near Dara in the forest. I turned from the window and faced the girl, and for a while we sat in silence. So just he left that looking out of the window and he turned to her and simply sat. They both sat sometime in silence. You have an interesting face, I remarked. I was becoming quite daring, but it was a safe remark. Few girls can resist flattery. So here, after some minutes of silence, the narrator told to the girl, you have an interesting face. Your face is looking very much interesting. So now he became little dare. First when he was telling about Dara, Missouri and all, he was thinking like maybe she did not like, or she thought he was a romantic fool and all. But now he became very dare. So he told, you have an interesting face. And this sentence is a safe remark also. Why? Because the narrator says that probably girls cannot resist flattery. Very few girls only can overcome this flattery. If someone saying to a girl, you're looking good, you're looking pretty, probably girls, they won't resist that because they like to listen that. So that's why he told her like this. She laughed pleasantly, a clear, ringing laugh. So when he told that, you're looking good, you have an interesting face, she laughed very happily, very pleasantly. It's nice to be told I have an interesting face. I'm tired of people telling me I have a pretty face. Oh, it's nice to listen that I have an interesting face. Actually, I'm tired of listening that I have a pretty face. Probably everyone saying to me that I have a pretty face. Now you are saying I have an interesting face. It's nice to listen that. Oh, so you do have a pretty face, thought I. And aloud I said, well, an interesting face can also be pretty. Oh, so you are tired of listening, so you know that you have a pretty face. So whatever interesting face means, interesting face will be pretty also. He changed a little bit because she already tired of listening that she has a pretty face. So what he told her she has an interesting face. So he made it little more clarified. He told her interesting face means of course it is pretty only. You are a very gallant young man, she said. But why are you so serious? So the girl told to that man, you are a very gallant young man. Gallant means brave. So you are very brave young man. Why are you so serious? Why you look like very serious? I thought then that I would try to laugh for her. But the thought of laughter only made me feel troubled and lonely. So when she asked him why he was so serious, he thought to fit a smile in his face, but he was not feeling so comfortable to give an expression of smile on his face. We will be at your station, I said. So within that time, Saharanpur, train had reached Saharanpur where she wanted to leave, where she wanted to get off the train. So he told her, we will be at your station. Your station came now. Thank goodness. It is a short journey. I can't bear to sit in a train for more than 2 or 3 hours. So when he told her your station, we arrived at your station, she just, oh thank God, because I can't sit more than 2 or 3 hours. It was a short journey, thank God. I can't sit like more than 2 or 3 hours in a train. It is very difficult or uncomfortable for me to sit long time in a train. Yet I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time just to listen to her talking. Her voice had a sparkle of a mountain stream. As soon as she left the train, she would forget our brief encounter, but it would stay with me for the rest of the journey and for some time after. So she was preparing to leave from there. So she told him that she cannot sit long time, like more than 2 or 3 hours. But he saying to himself, any length of time, if just to listen her talking, any length of time, he was prepared to sit there because her voice had a sparkle of mountain stream. Her voice was very beautiful. It was like a sparkle of a mountain stream. How from a mountain, this water, a stream of water is just flowing down. In the same way, her voice also was sounding. It was very sweet and melodious to listen. As soon as she left the train, she would forget our brief encounter. Just when she is leaving out of the train, she will forget whatever we talked about, our encounter, our conversation, everything, she will forget. But this time, what she was in the train, that time will be in my mind in the rest of the journey, and maybe after some time also. Even after I am leaving the train, the conversation with that girl will be in my mind only. He is telling to himself. The engine's whistle shrieked. The carriage wheels changed their sound and rhythm. The girl got up and began to collect her things. I wonder if she wore her hair in a bun, or it was plaited, or if it hung loose over her shoulders, or if it was cut very short. So somehow he wanted to see her hair. He wanted to find out how her hair looks like, whether it is straight, whether it is tied with a hairband, whether it is plaited, or whether it is hung loose over the shoulder, or it is cut just above her shoulder. So he wanted to find out how her hair looks like. Goodbye, said the girl. So the train stopped her. She was about to go. She told her goodbye to him. She was standing very close to me, so close that the perfume from her hair was tantalizing. I wanted to raise my hand and touch her hair, but she moved away, and only the perfume still lingered where she had stood. So to leave the train, to go out of the train. She got up. While she got up, she came very near to him, very close to him. Very close means he can get the smell of her hair, the perfume of her hair he can find, and it was tantalizing. Tantalizing means making him desire her presence all the more. Tantalizing means like a feel that the person should be with us little more time. That is tantalizing. That smell of her hair making me to feel that she should not go, she should be there. I wanted to raise my hand and touch her hair. So the narrator says that actually I wanted to touch her hair, but within that time she moved away. But the perfume, the smell of her hair was still staying there only. Linger means stay for a while. Sometime more the smell was there only. You may break, you may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. So this is like a classical sentence from literature. You can leave, maybe you can leave everything and you can go away from there, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. The smell of your hair, because this is very like we can say like a romantic sentence. The narrator says himself. You may break, you may shatter. If you want, you can go from here, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. There was some confusion in the doorway. A man getting into the compartment stammered an apology. Then the door banged shut, and the world was shut out again. I returned to my berth. The guard blew his whistle, and we moved off. Once again, I had a game to play with a new fellow traveler. So, while the girl, she was leaving, she was going out of the train, there some confusions were there. A man who wanted to get inside. So he just told us sorry, just stammered an apology means he told us sorry and he came inside. Then the door was closed, the train started moving. So the narrator, he feels that when the door closed, the world also locked. I became inside. World shut out again. I returned to my berth. So whistle blew and the train started moving. So now he got a new fellow traveler. Another man came as a fellow traveler. The train gathered speed. The wheels took up their song. The carriage groaned and shook. I found the window and sat in front of it, staring into the daylight that was darkness for me. So this train started moving. Train speed increased. Train started moving nicely. Just he found the window and sat in front of the window. Like he was not interested to talk to anyone. He was looking out of the window, but even that also was darkness for him. So many things happening outside the window. It could be a fascinating game, guessing what went out of there. The man who had entered the compartment broke into my reverie. A reverie means daydream. So by looking out of the window, simply his imagination is growing up. Like what other things will be going outside. He was thinking about all these things like a dream. Suddenly, the man, the new fellow traveler, broke his daydream. You must be disappointed, he said. I am sorry, I am not as attractive a traveling companion as the one who just left. So, the man, the new fellow traveler told her, you might be disappointed. I am not that much attractive like the person who just left the train. So that's why I am not like that girl. No, I am not a girl. Maybe you are not happy with that. So it will be disappointment for you. When the man started talking, the narrator, he asked to that man, she was an interesting girl, I said. Can you tell me, did she keep her hair long or short? So when the man, fellow traveler, when he talked about the girl, our narrator asked to the man, she was an interesting girl. That girl was a very nice girl. Can you tell me one thing, whether the girl's hair was short or long? So the man told, I don't remember. He said, sounded puzzled. It was her eyes I noticed, not her hair. She had beautiful eyes, but they were no use to her. She was completely blind. Didn't you notice? So when the narrator asked about her hair, the man, fellow traveler, told him, I don't remember her hair because I didn't notice her hair. I just observed her eyes. She had very beautiful eyes on her face, but they were no use. They were having no use to her. It was useless for her because she was completely blind. You didn't notice? The man asked. At that time, our narrator realized the girl also was blind. Their journey continues. This is the story of Eyes Are Not Here. Such a beautiful story. There are some funny incidents and there are many facts, funny facts. Ruskin Bond is trying to tell through this chapter. I hope you understood the video. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment box. The notes and the summary of the chapter will be given in the description box. See you in the next video with the next chapter. Thank you. Take care.